This video is an instructional guide on how to install the APsystems AC Combiner Box. Inside the package, you'll find the following components for the Combiner Box: a mounting kit, an LTE USB dongle, a split grid CT, and an installation guide. We recommend having these tools on hand. Please remember, the task of installing the Combiner Box must be carried out by qualified personnel only. The first step is to mount the Combiner Box. Install the mounting brackets onto the Combiner Box and secure them using the provided screws. The next step is drilling conduit holes. Mark the drilling spots on the bottom of the enclosure. Use a small drill bit to create shallow pilot holes where marked. Use a step drill bit to enlarge the holes to the required size for the conduit hub fittings. Insert conduit hub fittings into each corresponding hole and fully tighten them. You can only create openings on the bottom side of the enclosure. Do not drill conduit holes on the top of the Combiner Box or in any locations that may let moisture get in. When drilling, be aware of the internal parts of the Combiner Box. Mount the Combiner Box vertically onto the installation surface, securing it with number 8 screws or expansion screws. Here are some recommendations for selecting the installation location of the Combiner Box. The installation site must be convenient for electrical connection, operation, and maintenance. It must be shielded from direct rainfall. The installation surface must be capable of supporting the 15.43 pounds weight, dimensions, and cable length of the Combiner Box. To ensure proper air circulation, the installation site must have adequate clearances around the Combiner Box. The second step is installing breakers. The communication module, meter, ECU, and power supply have been pre-installed in the Combiner Box. Do not take any action regarding them to prevent potential damage. Step 1. Removing the dead front. Use an electric screwdriver to loosen the 4 screws supporting the dead front. Pull the dead front away from the Combiner Box. Remove the filter plate on the dead front for each breaker position to be used. Step 2. Mounting the breakers. In the position where you remove the filter plate, snap the breaker onto the PV load center. Please note that you need to install the breaker according to the position on the dead front and leave a space in the middle. If you plan to install additional circuit breakers, it supports up to 5 2-pole Eaton BR series breakers, not included. 1 for each PV branch circuit. The total rating of all breakers must not exceed 110 amps. Always follow NEC and local electrical codes during installation. The third step is connecting the circuit wiring to the panel. Pass the L1 conductors from each PV branch circuit through PVCT1 in the same direction as the arrow printed on the side of the CT. Pass the L2 conductors from each PV branch circuit through PVCT2 in the same direction as the arrow printed on the side of the CT. Connect the green or green and yellow ground wires to the ground bar. Following the same method, connect the L1, L2, and ground wires of PV2. Wire the L1 and L2 outputs from the Combiner Box's main connection point to the main solar circuit breaker. Attach the neutral wire to the neutral terminal and the ground wire. The next step is installing grid CTs. 2 PVCT solid core transformers for PV metering are already pre-installed and pre-wired in the Combiner Box upon delivery. The package also includes 2 grid CTs, split core for grid metering. Position 2 grid CTs on the main load center, making sure the arrows marked on the CTs are aligned with the current flow to the grid. The provided grid CTs are rated at 250 amps, so be careful not to exceed that rating. Guide the grid CT lead wires from the mounting position through the conduit to the Combiner Box. Plug the white wire from the first grid side current transformer into the 31st hole and the blue wire into the 33rd. Do the same for the second grid side transformer, plugging the white wire into 34 and the blue into 36. Remove the 4G LTE dongle accessory box and insert the SIM card. Plug it into the USB interface of the ECUR, and you can then connect to Wi-Fi to supply the network. We'll go into more detail on that in a bit. Finally, we will power the combiner box. First, reinstall the dead front. Make sure all breakers are in the off position. Turn on the main PV breaker. Turn on the communication module breaker. Turn on the other breakers. You can see that the meter has started normally. Wait briefly for the microinverters to boot up. If all connections are correct, the meter will display power and the ECU will start up. When the indicator light on the 4G LTE dongle flashes, alternating between blue and green, this indicates that the power supply is normal, and you can check the network status in the EMA Manager app. The phone symbol on the meter represents communication with the ECU and confirms it is working normally. If the communication between the ECU and the inverter is poor, there's a backup antenna inside the inverter box. You can replace the pre-installed antenna with it to improve signal strength or quality. The electric meter transfers export or import power data and photovoltaic power generation data to the ECU via RS-485. The ECU then uploads the data to the EMA platform using the 4G LTE dongle network. Users can monitor energy information on the EMA platform or via the mobile application. Next, configuring anti-backflow. After powering on, connect your phone to the ECUR hotspot. Choose the Wi-Fi that's named after the UID on the combiner box. The default password is 8 eighths or the number 8 times. Enter the UID of the inverter into the app. Access the ID management section within the workspace. Click Add to register the inverter. You can either scan the barcode on the inverter label or manually enter the inverter's ID. After entering the ID, click Sync. If the sync status for all inverters is shown as OK, it means the inverter UIDs have been successfully uploaded to the ECU. Return to the workspace and click on Inverter Connection Progress to monitor the networking progress. When it reaches 100%, the networking status will display OK, and the signal strength will be shown as normal, indicating the Zigbee network between the ECU and the inverters has been successfully established. Next, setting up the meter. Enter the workspace and select Meter Settings. Click the Meter Function button and enable Zero Export. Then set the maximum allowable backflow power. That completes our tutorial on the combiner box. You can check out the other trainings and tutorials available on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/APsystems Solar. Thanks for watching.